Hello, we are now live. Come on in, guys. Who have we got in here? Got some girlies inside. Welcome. Beautiful. Come on in, guys. Welcome into office hours for this Tuesday, the 13th of June, or Monday, the 12th of June, depending on which side of the world you're on. Coming in. I'm going to wait a little bit before we get started this morning, just because I've got quite a few people that have registered for today's session that haven't joined yet. So that's probably because I'm a couple of minutes early. Normally you guys beat me in here, but I beat you this time. Okay, welcome. Come on in, guys. You're all joining now. Beautiful. Welcome. Okay. What are you doing, computer? Cool. Come on in. Let me know in the chat box if you can see and hear me okay by typing in the right-hand chat box what you're working on this week, what your priority is this week to get done. I would love to know. Cool. Here you all come. Welcome. Come on in, guys. All my letters. Come on in. I saw your question, Sandy, too. I'll make sure I answer that today. Beautiful. Hi guys, hi Lynn, welcome. So letting me know in the right-hand chat box what you're working on this week while we just wait for everyone to rock on in. Wow, you literally all just came in the last like 2 minutes. Awesome. Cool. Let me tell you, so if you've just joined just now, a few people just joined then, in the right-hand chat box, what are you working on this week? Let me know so I can kind of guide our discussion today, but I will be answering all of your questions as well. For me, what am I working on this week? I am working on some stuff for my inner circle girlies. I've got a lot of mainly video editing to do this week. I'm testing a new campaign for my girls on Facebook. I'm doing some more stuff with lead ads to see if that email capture is going to be cheaper. For certain niches and certain markets, and I've got to prepare for my Tony Robbins event that I'm speaking at in a few weeks. But don't tell anyone, I haven't prepared much yet, so I need to. So that's my priorities for this week. Okay, what are we doing this week, guys? So Min's launching her site this week. Is that a or a I hope it's a finally. Awesome. Grace is in here editing her first videos and getting her competition up and running. Awesome. Sandy is reprogramming her brain to understand Facebook ads. Awesome. Also good. Even like sometimes people find watching my Facebook training, the first time they pick up stuff, but then the second and third time they go through, they often pick up things that they didn't even see the first time. If you've never done paid advertising before and you're brand new to Facebook advertising, like, it doesn't hurt to watch it a couple of times. You do become a little bit of a ninja by the end of it. Min's also working on her pre-launch of her product. Jan's listening to the Doing Academy modules. And then, so she's going to listen to all of them and then go back and do them individually. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Jan, are you at Tony in FL? Is that Florida or... No, FL. Wait, I should know this. My geography is horrible. Florida, yeah, it is. Right? No, not the Florida one, the Sydney and Melbourne ones. Yanea is surveying her market face-to-face this week, and she's a little bit terrified. Don't be terrified, be fascinated. Don't get upset if they don't like the product or service you're planning to develop or you've started developing. Get excited that you get to figure out what they really, really want and get it closer to right first time round, right, when you launch it. Just be obsessed with listening to them and figuring out how they're talking, and the whole time your mind is like, how could I solve that problem? So just go get them to tell you all of their problems, and your whole mind is like, how can I build a product or service that would solve that problem? Because if I can do that, it makes it so much easier to ask them to pay me money for that, right? Cool, come on in, guys. Just hearing what people are up to this week, what their main focus is. Maria's working on her Facebook ads. Awesome, you submitted a question. I'll get onto that. Yeah, it is South Carolina. Okay, cool. Awesome. Come on in, guys. Come on in. I think most people are here. Oh, there's still a lot of people coming in, but we're going to get started because I like to start on time. Okay, so how it works, if you're new, a lot of the names I recognise here though. But right-hand chat box, pop questions in there that you've got. So enter your question. It is private. I can see it, other people can't. So you don't have to worry about feeling like you're asking a silly question, because it's just me. And then if you've submitted a question in the portal, you've got hiccups again. What is this? I always get hiccups when I speak now. And it's usually a sign I'm talking too fast, but I'm getting them a lot. Maybe I'm talking too fast. I don't think I breathed much in the last sort of 30 seconds. I'll slow down. And it's hard in these sessions though, right? Because you have to talk, because I'm the only one talking. Like, you guys are doing the typing and I'm the one doing the talking. Anyway, and then if you submitted a question in the portal to me in advance, so you've gone and submitted one in advance, could you let me know that in the chat box? Just say, hey, Grace, I've submitted a question. Tell me your first and last name. And then I'll be able to go and find it. Okay. Dee is launching her free masterclass this week. I'm getting ready to get that done, get that live. Beautiful. Cool. I'm ready to start answering these questions then. So I'm going first to last. So just sit patiently till I answer your question, or go grab a cuppa or whatever you need. And some people like to stay around and just have this on in the background while they're working. Others like to get their question answered and head off. I don't mind either way how you use these sessions. Okay. First question is Jess. I saw yours, Jess. So she said, I've submitted a question in the portal. Oh, I remember this. I feel like I initially deleted it because I thought I'd already answered those questions, but I think you've just submitted them twice, but it's okay. I've got it here again. So Jess, is this the Jess? I'm pretty sure it is. This is the Jess regarding your Likeable Lady emails. Can you just let me know? So because I felt like a bit had changed, but not bucket loads since I last looked at them. Like, you got more leading paragraphs in, which is good. And your call to action, just double checking that again. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Can you just put one more sentence in the fifth email that in the actual copy, like in the top part, not just the PS, that talks about that urgency? It's just one more little half sentence that like sums up your PS within the actual body of the email. So it's like, just email 5 has to be all about urgency, and I don't see the urgency until the PS. And the PS is great to have urgency in, and it should have it, but just saying something up in the email about how there are limited spots available on my calendar, so book now to ensure you don't miss out. Blah, done, right? Just one more thing in email 5 in your Likeable Ladies. Otherwise, you're looking pretty. Well done. Next question is, awesome. Oh, this is a question about my videos. Yeah, I couldn't find that. Did you? Just looking to see if you've spelt your name incorrectly, which you haven't, which happens more than you would think. I don't have anything on your videos, Jess. I'm just hitting refresh to see if it was just submitted. Yes, I did. Okay, must have just been submitted. Cool. So your video scripts, awesome. Cool. So she's just wondering, this is more of a coaching call question, so it won't apply to a lot of people in here. This is more of an identity project one, but just so that you know, cool. Awesome. Yep, that's looking good. So I would take out in the homepage, I would take out the member of the blah, blah association. Don't think that's necessary. Think you need to talk about yourself for less. I know you're only talking about yourself for like 12 words, but I would talk about yourself for that little, just take out that little bit less. Take out a little bit of text there about I'm a member of the blah, blah association. And then when you say I've created an online mini masterclass, can you say, I wanted to fill you in on an exclusive opportunity to join me inside. Like I just want you to say the word exclusive or special or gift or opportunity or something like that as early on as we can. As soon as you introduce yourself, say something and introduce yourself really briefly. Say something about how you've got an exclusive, because this video, the homepage video, you just want to kind of make it about them as quickly as you can, which is what we can do there by just saying, we just want them to watch through, right? The whole point is for them to watch through so that you can get to the offer. So before you even start going into the offer, let them know an exclusive opportunity or something, a special gift or something like that, so they hear the words and go, oh, hold on, and just keep watching. Your whole point of writing your video scripts is remembering that when you're writing a script, at any minute, someone could click away. At any minute, they could be distracted by a million things that are going on in their life around them, in their inboxes, on their social feed, whatever it is. And at any moment, they can be distracted. So we want each sentence to be exciting and benefits focused and them focused and relatable and that kind of stuff, right? We don't want any opportunities to potentially bore them. Not that bores them, but just pulling a lot of that exciting bit more towards the front of that sentence will be good. Now, the thank you bridge page that is this page here, right? Your thank you page video is this one here, which is usually something heading towards your core offer. Now, in your case, you're offering consults, right? So you're offering, once they take advantage of the lead magnet and give you an email address, then on the next page, you show them something where you invite them to make another next step kind of commitment, which is a small commitment of money or time. And in your case, it's going to be a time for that 15-minute discovery call so that you can then find the best treatment for them and sell it. So you've got your core offer on this page. Yours is this one here. The video on this page, therefore, think about when they watch this video, what's happened so far. So they must have put their email in on this page to see this page here. So you're letting them know. I would first let them know that is on its way to their inbox. And you got to say that really quickly and briefly. But just because some people, when they put an email in, expect to see what they wanted to see on this page, and you're letting them know, no, this isn't the right space for that. I've given it to you directly to your inbox, right? You don't say it those exact words, but you kind of explain so that there's no confusion. You just explain that it's on its way to their inbox. And then the only thing here, and I might just tweak the way that I teach on this because I see it a fair bit, which means it must be the way I'm talking about it. The only thing here is that when you're talking about the thank you page, yes, you go back and acknowledge that what they've done is a good thing that they've just done, right? Acknowledge that first step that they've taken, so they're more likely to take another step with you. So acknowledge it, tell them it's in their inbox, and now they can do blah, but you can't talk about that for too long. The problem is when you talk about what they've just done for too long, you've got to acknowledge it and recognize it. But when you talk about that for too long, people start thinking that this whole video is just to confirm what they've already got, and they close the screen and go away. So I would take out the last sentence in there, or just try and shorten that up. At the moment, for me, it's 3.5 lines of text. I would try and make it half that, so that we can get to the point really quickly. We can say, hey, great, thanks for that. Now you can achieve this. I'd now like to let you know, or how would you like to achieve, or, something like that, so we can go on to the next opportunity. And yes, don't mention about the price. Take out the blue bit. Otherwise, it's looking really good. And when we're talking about scarcity here, we're talking about scarcity of your time. So in the consult, you're going to sell them your programs, right? Your treatments and your packages. But that's the next step. That's the next step on the funnel. Right now, we need some scarcity on this page. The scarcity is there's only so many of these available, slots on your calendar. There's only so many people you can talk to in a given day. So better schedule yours now, right? Or request yours now. Don't talk about the product or service at that point. That's the whole point of the consult. That discovery call is where we can talk about the product and the service. We just want to get them on the phone, because usually if you can get someone on the phone who's interested in your subject matter, you know, and has agreed to have a chat with you and find out more about your programs, then it's usually a pretty good sign that you should be able to close at least half of those guys, if not more. A lot of my girls close much higher than that. So you got good opportunity there if we can get them on the phone. So that's that. I think that script's really great. Take out the blue bit and you'll be good. And then yeah, retargeting is really good as well. And you know what? I'm happy with retargeting. You know what? Just smile through a lot of this. Just be like you and decide how closely you can stick to the script while still sounding authentic, compared to using speaking points and sounding authentic. So just have a think about and just practice it, right, as many times as you can. I've got quite a few people that I've worked with that much prefer to do talking points. So they'll like to have a piece of paper up beside the camera that just has talking points. But you can't have it over here. You know how people are talking on camera and it's over here? That's the biggest and most frustrating annoyance of mine, when people haven't set up their teleprompter or their talking points so that it's actually looking like it's close to the camera. Like this looks like it's close to the camera, right? And I'm actually looking a little bit above the camera, but it looks pretty close to you. You can't have it over here or over here. You have to have the talking points or the teleprompter closer. So if you're someone who can read out loud really well, then you can use a script, right? And if you can read out loud and look really authentic, so that's something that I've become quite good at. I didn't used to be quite good at that. I used to sound quite scripted when I read out loud, but I just practiced a lot. So if you're someone who's like, you know, that's kind of the way that you talk really well, you know, so it'd be something like, congratulations on taking the first step towards achieving that balance in your life. Now, I know that you will receive great benefits. Sorry, I probably should have practiced this script first before reading it. You will have at your fingertips some really useful tools just to help you deal with the stresses that are a part of your everyday life. But I want to ask you a question. How would you like to find balance in all areas of your life? Physically, mentally, emotionally, right? If you can kind of do that while reading, use your script. If when you read it sounds like this, so how would you like to find balance in all areas of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally? Because you have, you know, if it's looking like that, then it's probably best to do talking points. It's probably best to practice this script as many times as you can, like 10 times, and then just use some talking points where you've just got like one word that you can look at and you know, right, this is what I'm saying next, this is what I'm going to say next, and get as close as you can to that script. Just whatever ends up looking most authentic. And your final alternative is actually just to do a slide pack, where you might make up some slides on your screen, like make up a PowerPoint pack or a Keynote pack, and you kind of go through the slides. It's called a sideways sales letter, sideways video sales letter for your sell. So it's like you scroll through the slides. You would have seen my training in the Doing Academy. A lot of those are sideways, not sales letters, but you know, sideways videos. So that's another way of doing it. If you really just do not feel comfortable in front of the camera, I personally find practice makes perfect, but if it's just not working for you and you're really not happy with the quality that's coming out, then that's always another option. Anyway, I hope that helps. Okay, next question is from Maria. Maria's question is, Maria Hunt. Hi, Maria. So it's about her Facebook ads. Let me have a quick look. Cool. So I'm looking at her ad copy. Awesome. I feel like, okay, I reckon this might get blocked. I mean, you could try it. It may get blocked because it's implying a medical situation on someone, which you're not allowed to do. So you're not allowed to imply or assert a situation that they might be in. So when you say frustrated with feeling bloated, tired, and heavy, let me just Facebook ad guidelines. It's not restrictions. They're called advertising policies. No. I'm trying to find it's like prohibited. I'll type in and I should be able to find it. Maybe it is under advertising policies. Yes. Yes, it's this one here. So you're not allowed to assert or imply a personal attribute, including a medical condition. So when you say frustrated with feeling bloated, tired, and heavy, you're implying that they feel bloated, tired, and heavy. And that's fine in real life. It's just that Facebook, purely because they don't want the whole newsfeed when someone gets married, to say, or and they do like the pregnancy ads, or when someone starts following Alcohol Anonymous, they don't want people like directly targeting their medical or physical condition. So here's some examples. So I'll try and find something in the medical area. So rather than, depression getting you down, get help now, that's a no-no. But depression counselling services available is like a yes, or a diabetes treatment available now. Or so you're going to have to you can't ask them directly if they're feeling bloated, tired, and heavy. But you can talk about all the other stuff because you're owning parts of it, or you're not being as you're not implying as much. The question itself, the image itself has to be tweaked as well. Oh, how can we tweak that? Have a little play around with that. It's I did a really good one, and Adam did one recently too for weight loss. I think we had to go at it from a more positive angle with the question. You can't say like, you can't say that, are you frustrated with being bloated, feeling bloated? Or you can't say calling all bloated people, not that you would say that in that ad, you can't imply that. So like the rest of your ad is fine. That first sentence, I would just personalize that first sentence. I know as a woman, one of the most, if you're talking only to women, one of the most common, mealtime topics is the comment, oh my gosh, I'm so bloated, or whatever it is, right? Kind of just turn that into something that's a little bit less, so it doesn't imply it as much. In the ad itself, just take out the question. Just, I know you've got to try and apply it to them somehow. So I would probably just take out the question mark and put tips on the end of that top first pink sentence. Or advice, or a word like that, rather than having it a question. You just got to turn it into a statement rather than a question. That's probably a better way to explain it, a statement rather than a question, because it's implying that they have bowel problems, which you're not allowed to do. That's a really awkward topic. The rest of it was looking good though. Your headline was looking good, your ad description was looking good, the text and the copy was good. So I'm happy with everything else. I just want to make sure it gets approved. You could submit it and you might get through. And I guess you could do that if you want to, but I would probably just tweak it a little bit before I submit it, just that first sentence and the pink text. Min, your question was submitted into the portal. Got it? I finally have my website, my consult funnel, my Likeable Lady email set up, testing it. Thank you so much for empowering me to start this journey, Grace. You are welcome. For the first project, I'm thinking of offering a brand of starters kit. Cool. Awesome. Min, you're going to love the July Inner Circle pack. I'm finishing it off today, so it's in the post and out with plenty of time. And it's going to be perfect for what you're doing, really perfect. It's on program creation. So whether you're a professional services coach or a consultant, and whether you're in that more done for you service, more done with you, or more completely online programs, I walk you through the process of how you start with an idea or an end goal and actually build out a complete program really quickly. Because I'm doing one at the moment, for example, a brand new one. And so I show you how I do that in a matter of days, which is awesome. Okay, I'm new in this side of the consulting part of the business. I've been in the design business for ages, but now that I'm moving across into consulting, I'm thinking of offering a mini beta product for free to a few ladies in my network that may be interested in this service. Do you have any advice on how to launch this, and should it be free to test out this new product? What is it? 4 to 6 weeks, weekly basis. If it does have a one-on-one element in it, you know what, even regardless, I probably would. If it was the first time I never offered it, I know it's undervaluing your time, but just for the research and the feedback that you get, I would prefer to have, if it was like a completely done, do it yourself kind of model, then maybe they need some sort of financial skin in the game for them to actually value and take steps with the program. But if it's done with you, then yes, where you're a bit more involved in it, more of a consulting approach, then yeah, I would do 2 or 3 people. I would offer it complimentary. But I would always ask for, if you have great experience, so I would like a video testimonial and a written testimonial and to use you as a case study or something like that, right? And it can be an anonymous case study, but to be able to do that. So there's always, you've got to get something from it, as well as just the feedback and the learnings that come out of running through your program and the confidence and all that kind of stuff. But yes, I would do probably 2 or 3 of them complimentary with people in your network, and do it exactly how you would do it, right? Run through the process over those 4 to 6 weeks. Try and do them all at once, so that you're not like 6 weeks and you take on another one 6 weeks. Try and do them all at once. So in 4 to 6 weeks, you've been able to really refine exactly how you need to talk about this, the kind of language that they're using, the pain points they experience. You'll have tweaked some of the ways that you deliver stuff because you're like, that didn't really work. I need to communicate it better. I need to change the way I approach this with them, and kind of refine that. Get 3 great testimonials, both video and written, alongside with 3 awesome case studies of people that have had success with your program. Cool. That's all you need to really build some awesome to add those to your awesome landing pages or your presentations and have confidence to sell better, right? I remember when I did my doing days, for example, when I was doing my first one, it was more expensive to sell, but after I sold that one, I had a camera there at my event and was able to catch testimonials, put those on my landing page moving forward, just added them to the bottom of the page underneath the stuff that was already there. And it got cheaper and cheaper to sell tickets. Same with the Identity Project. The first time I ran it, I didn't have anyone that had bought it. So the conversion rates are slightly lower. And then put some awesome testimonials of people that had an awesome experience in there, conversions go up. So it's just all that element of social proof. I think personally, the element of social proof, and then also hand in hand with the learnings you discover from running a pilot program, are invaluable and worth that bit of dedication. If it was a done for you where you were spending heaps of manual hours on this client, I would price it somewhere in 30% of normal price, but it would be low, but I would still want something for that time, so that you weren't, you would want something for your time if it was a done for you. But if it's more of a coaching or consulting kind of service that's not done for you, then I'd be prepared to offer that complimentary for the first 3 or so. Because you can always go up, right? Next question is from Angelina. After someone takes me up on my core offer through my Likeable Lady emails, how do I stop the nurture going through to those people? Cool. So what she's saying is, say someone takes advantage of the lead magnet, they drop in here, you send the Likeable Lady emails because you keep wanting to push them towards that core offer, right? And you keep promoting that core offer because you want them to take that next step. Now, they could take that next step either 5 minutes after downloading this, and go straight in there, or 3 days after downloading this, maybe after email 3, they go up here, right? But at some point they could take you up on that offer, and therefore they would want to be pulled out of this nurture and probably put into something that relates to what they've just done, which is like, hey, your consult's booked, or hey, here's the low price product you bought, or whatever it is in your case. How do you get them out of this one? Because as soon as they take action on the next step, this needs to stop, right? The likable ladies shouldn't keep going. So if you're using systems like Infusionsoft or ConvertKit or Campaign Monitor, things like that, it automatically lets you decide when they start a nurture, what other nurture should stop. In MailChimp, because it's a lot cheaper, that's not automatically built in as a feature, but you can set it up with this thing called Zapier. So Zapier is like a third-party integration tool, and it talks to basically every system on the planet. It talks to those systems and lets you communicate between systems. However, you can also use Zapier to communicate within your own system. So if that communication isn't already built in, like, hey, MailChimp, when someone starts this nurture, please stop that nurture. It's not built in with MailChimp, so you can create your own communication in a thing called Zapier. And you just say to Zapier, hey, Zapier, when my MailChimp account says someone's entered this nurture, then please go back to MailChimp and stop that nurture. So it's like it's an if-then. If someone does this, then do that. So it's if-then logic. There is training on how to do that in module. It's in the automation part. Wherever it is, the automation part, when I'm talking about emails, it'd be 4, wouldn't it? It's in there under the MailChimp section. If you're in MailChimp, it's under the MailChimp section, and it's called automating between workflows, or automating between nurtures with MailChimp, or something like that. It's only like 3 videos in there. It's one of those. Have a look at that. I've got training, and I actually build one connection live in front of you. And remember, you just need to set it up once. The first time you do it, you've got to really think about it. You're like, okay, so I'm saying if they enter this nurture, so you say, hey, Zapier, if they enter the consult nurture, then please stop. And you're like, then please go back into MailChimp and stop the likable lady nurture. So it just took me a little bit to get my head around it. But in the training, I do it in about 15 minutes in front of you. So it doesn't take too long, but you just got to set it up once. And then from then on, everyone who lands in this nurture will get stopped in that nurture. And I tested it myself and it worked fine. So I was pretty proud of myself. There was even an article in MailChimp that showed you how to do that in their help center. That's how I figured out how to do it. Cool, I hope that helps. That was you telling me what you were doing this week. Grace sent me a question in the portal. It's weird saying your own name because not many people have my name, but I love it. Oh, you're acupuncture with Grace. Grace Jones. Hi, Grace. This is such a good question. So this might be a bit left of field, but how do you record such long videos without losing your voice? I recently recorded my first set of videos, 5 of them. Awesome. Yay, she says. And that night my throat was sore and my voice was super husky. In the videos, my voice is projecting well, so I wasn't yelling. Any tips? Thank you. Practice. I'm 100%. I found that, and I've never really talked about that, but I found that same thing when I was doing videos when I first started. So I just have lots of tea, like lemon and peppermint tea. I don't have milk or chocolate or anything like that on the days that I'm filming. And I've got a horrible stomach gurgling thing where if I'm hungry or too full, like if I've just eaten or I need to eat, my stomach goes insane and you can hear all of it on the teleprompter. So that's my challenge. My cross I have to bear. I have to time my food. So I'm like, I'll eat just before makeup, touch up. So then 20 minutes after that, my stomach should have settled. And because the poor guy with the headphones on listening live as I'm talking is like, no, you're going to have to start that one again. That was really loud. It's really embarrassing. But anyway, that's mine. My voice itself, it's just practice. And even now, this is the other extreme where I've practiced so much that I was doing, how many did I do? 120 something videos in 4 days. I was pretty much crying by the end of it. I'm very competitive and I massively over promise myself things. So I promised myself that I would do every video I wanted to possibly do in that 1 week and just get them done. I've got a hair and makeup girl in, and I just focused on it. Had my director here and 2 of my team members, and we just pumped out videos, and we were like running in between, resetting up scenes. I was throwing tops on and off. Like, it was probably not a very fun way to do videos, but I got 120 videos out of it, so now I don't have to do any for ages. At the end of each day, I was like, ow, my voice is killing me. And actually, it was on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on the Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, I was coming in here doing office hours and coaching calls, and then I was running out to hair and makeup, throwing on different tops, and so I did not stop talking. And I had a friend visiting, so we were going out for dinner, talking every night. So I know what voice strain feels like. Have I got any tips? I mean, just those ones about what I have in my mouth before, like no milk or I'll have a black coffee to keep me awake, like an espresso, but no, it just does get better with time. There's no way I could have done 120 videos like a year ago, even probably 6 months ago. I just keep on practicing, your voice gets used to it. Sometimes even after just doing coaching calls on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, by the end of Wednesday, I'm like, ow, my throat really hurts. I've also got a lot of experience in real life because I love to talk. That doesn't really help you though, does it? I can say it gets better with practice. And don't put too much strain on your voice in the early days while you build up to being able to speak more. But see the level I'm speaking at? I'm not, and it sounds like you were projecting well, so that's good. That's the one thing that I really had to be aware of. No shouting, just a nice, calm voice, not working too hard to get the words out. No shouting or loud speaking is definitely something you got to watch. Okay, next question is from Unia and then Sandy. So I think I saw 2 from you. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I think I asked you this. Oh, no, I've just got one. Cool. I think I've asked you before about this. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm reviewing her website. Looking forward to it. Cool. Okay, so cool. So homepage. Just going to see what happens when I click there. Calendar. Nice. I have absolutely, just for your reference, I have absolutely no idea how to book on this calendar. Can I only book 1 week in advance, or are you literally that booked out? I can only hover over the 19th. Our team is unavailable, select a different day. The calendar doesn't work well for me at all. I can't click on anything. Anyway, that's just a side point. So if I were you though, I would have the red line along the top. Oh, this is a Squarespace calendar. Cool. A Squarespace website. I tend to find Squarespace websites are really tough to make work. So the image itself, I would make sure that image is more, firstly, any image with people with their back to you is a pretty horrible thing to have on a website. Psychologically, subconsciously, people when they see their back turned to you feel unimportant and unwanted. So I would definitely swap the image out and make sure that, see how that guy is like a middle-aged man? That better be your market, middle-aged men. Try and have it relating to your market. Now, the logo having the white background looks like it's stuck on. So either get a transparent background or make the background of your website white. But if the background of your website is going to be the grey, then the background of your logo should be transparent so you don't see the white box. Also, can we shorten up that top header? It's too deep. So just because you're wasting a lot of white space there, if we shortened it up a bit, it would work better. And psychologically, when you're looking at marketing split testing, your header, your navigation, home, about, products, etc. Your navigation is easier to read if it's on the left, like left aligned or right aligned, not in the middle. So left aligned or right aligned usually works better. Now, in terms of And the red bar along the top, when they click on that, it should bring up a pop-up that at least captures like first name and email or something like that, and then goes through to the calendar. Just because you're potentially missing opportunities of people who can't book in a time right now but are still interested, and so then at least we can nurture them. And we know, we can nurture with a likable lady, for example, to nurture them towards a consult. So I would capture first name and email, or just email, in a pop-up when they click on the red icon along the top. And then once they've given you an email, then take them through to the calendar booking page for that second step. It just means you don't waste opportunities. Like if I came to this website, I just wouldn't book because I couldn't. There wasn't a way to do that on the calendar. So you might want to have a look at that too. And then the text on the home page is to, firstly, when you're doing a headline, capitalizing the first letter of every word in a headline is usually converts higher statistically. If you're doing split testing, that converts higher. And the image itself, I would make it narrower because it's just taking up a bit too much of the page, in my opinion. I would also be putting a button on top of the image as well, because people are more likely to click on a button. I want some form of call to action before they have to scroll too far. So I've got the red strip along the top. I've got the call now button in the top right-hand corner, but I'd also like a button on the image of a next step I could take, which is, schedule a consult or whatever that looks like. Yes, tell me more, or something like that, on a button on that homepage on top of the image. If you're going to put text on top of an image, the image either needs to be like faded out to white so that you can actually read the text, because I can't read that text. So it needs to be faded out so you can read it, or it needs to be, how you can put like that transparent sort of wash over an image where it's either a white or a black and it's a little bit transparent. So the way that I do that is I get my image, I put it into like Microsoft Word, and I draw just a box over the top of it, like a shape. I just get a box, draw a shape over the top of it, and then I make it black or white, and I just move along the transparency button. So it's like a little bit transparent, so I can still see the image behind it, but I know I can put some good text on there, and I can actually see the text. And then I just screenshot that, and I'll use that as my photo. That's what a non-designer does. If you know how to use Photoshop, or you've got a designer that can do that for you, then even better. And yeah, just make sure the back isn't turned to people. Do you sell the Book of Survival by Anthony Greenback? If you don't, I would have in that section there where you've got that quote, I would have a testimonial. Yeah, I would have a testimonial there instead with the person's face beside it. So testimonial on their face below the scroller. Then you've got some is that your trust authority, trust building stuff? Cool. I would probably go, if I were you, I'd go testimonial, then I'd put the what is I market above it, and then I'd put your trust symbols below that. Looks good. And then apart from that, it's looking okay. Cool. So making those tweaks will definitely, because all the power has to be above the fold before they scroll. So it all has to be above the fold. So it's all about that top banner, the logo being better, better placed, shortening up the amount of white space that you've got up there. So making that top navigation narrower, like less deep. Changing out your photo and putting in the text so that it's visible with capitalizing the first letter of every word. Looking good. Off to a good start. Next question is from Sandy. Yes, I saw yours, Sandy. Sandy's question. This is another good question. I'd love to know the process you use to create your slide pack for your trainings, and if a live training is different to a recorded training. For instance, I held a 1 hour mindset training. It was actually 2 hour training for the Inner Circle last week. What did I do first, right? What were the exact steps I took from the idea I want to teach my girls on mindset through to having the slide pack ready to go and presenting the training? Do you have really in-depth notes you follow to flesh out the training, or is what you need all in your slides? I'm really interested in the steps that you take. Cool. So, and are there different steps compared to when I'm recording something to when I'm doing something live? Do you want me to just show you on my desktop? I'll just get it ready and I'll show you how I do this. Where would it be? There. I think this is it. No. Now I've got to find it. I think it's under, where would it be? Under there. Sorry, I'll just quickly grab it for you. Cool. So I think it's kind of this one, really. Yeah. So I'll share my screen with you and show you how I do this. So there, share screen, share. Example that I did the other day. So whether I'm doing recorded or live, in a lot of cases, I want a slide pack to go with it. And if it's a webinar, for example, I rely only on a slide pack. If it's a live workshop, so that's a recorded webinar. If it's a live workshop, I work with a cross between a slide pack and a whiteboard. If it's, I mean, this I wouldn't really call a training. This I would call more of a Q&A session, so I don't use a slide pack for this. But if it's any sort of training, and then other times I do recorded ones, so I send out recorded trainings that I've created to people in my email community. And so that is pure slide pack as well. So whether it's live or pre-recorded, if I've got a slide pack element, I'll always do it this way. So I personally keep my slide pack really simple. And I find that either with a white background or a slightly coloured background with some text on it works really well. And I used to just put a talking point and then I'd talk about the point. It's incredibly boring if you don't have enough slides in the pack. So you need to be moving the slides. A slide shouldn't really appear for any longer than 8 seconds. Otherwise it starts to get boring. 8 to 15 max, but really 8. So everything that I literally just write what I plan on saying. So what I usually try and do first is figure out on the topic that I want to teach on or I want to share about, I'll usually have 3 main points and an intro and exit. So I'll figure out what my 3 main points are, and that's usually my content. That's normally my genius zone. So that's the bit that I find the easiest. So I'll have an idea of what I want to do on mindset training. I'll be like, yep, these are the 3 big things that are holding so many entrepreneurs back. And I'll usually start there and I'll make a little slide for those. Or in this case, for example, this was the evolution of a coach or a consultant. And so there's 3 main stages that people go through. And I was getting so frustrated because I was like, oh, some people aren't getting results, but it's all because they're in the wrong stage. They've skipped a stage and that's all it is. And they feel like they're not successful because they've just skipped a stage. They just need to go back a stage. And so I wanted to teach on that. So I knew that I had my 3 stages and I went in and, created some graphics for each of those stages. I use dot points every now and then and I'll animate so that they appear by bullet rather than all at once. And then what else do I do? Yeah, so I do those kind of main teaching parts. I usually start with the teaching part because that's my genius zone. So I usually do the easiest bits first, which is my teaching. And then I'll go back and do an intro and an exit. And in the intro, I'll normally deal with some objections or some issues or some pain points that are causing me to teach on this, that my market are experiencing. So I'll usually start with, this is every female entrepreneur has a genius zone. She might have been doing this for a little while or been doing it for decades. What's your genius zone to get people engaged? So a lot of people think the first challenge is discovering your genius zone. And then once that's done, you read it's right, wrong, right? And there are common beliefs that are wrong and I want to break them and rebuild them the right way. Right, so I'll usually try and break something pretty early on that's like either something that's made them lose hope or think that they can't do it or think that this isn't possible or whatever it is that's causing that kind of stumbling block for them that's causing them a pain point or a problem in what they're trying to do. And I'll break those attitudes, break an attitude first in the intro, and then I'll start teaching. At the end of the teaching, I'll usually recap at the end of the teaching, and then I'll go into whatever I want to do next. If it's part of a funnel, you want to then position the next step you want them to take. If it's part of a training, you want to say, you know, go take action with this checklist or this worksheet or whatever it is in that case. So they're kind of the parts. 3-ish main talking points. Sometimes they go up to 5, but it would have to be pure training. It would be too many if I wanted to sell something at the end. Usually I just focus on 3, an intro and an exit. And the exit either sells something else, offers a next step, or encourages them to take action if it's in part of a program. Now, once that's done, I've then got a thing called ScreenFlow. So it looks like this, ScreenFlow, and it's like recording. I can record myself. I'm going to record my FaceTime camera because it's a second camera. Cool. So I can record desktop from a Mac. So that's what I'm going to do, or desktop from whatever you use. And you can have a similar kind of thing in iMovie or Windows Movie Maker or Camtasia. You'll see the stuff that I recommend in Module 7. I think it's Module 7. Yeah, it's still Module 7. So I will usually record the desktop from my Mac. I won't record my video. And I will record audio from my microphone. I won't record any computer audio. If you're playing a video on your computer or something like that, you would. But in most cases, I just want to record what's on my Mac, including the visual on my desktop and the audio. And I hit record. So now it's doing a little countdown. So I just hit play in my slide pack. So now I'm recording. So I can just now do my presentation, say, hi guys, Grace here, and I'm so excited to share this training with you. Now, I'm so passionate about this training because I truly believe every female entrepreneur I talk to has an incredible genius zone she wants to share with the world. Right? She might be just in startup stage and a newbie female entrepreneur, or this may be you. She might have been working on sharing her genius zone for years, or maybe even decades. It doesn't matter what stage you're in. As unique humans, we have such unique genius zones, right? What's your genius zone? There's a whole different range of different types of genius zones that people have. Blah, blah. Go through all of that, give some little tips on different genius zones. So your first challenge, right, is discovering your genius zone. Once that's done, though, you're ready to build an online business, right? Wrong. Blah, blah, and off you go. So that's kind of the presentation I do, and I try and keep it quick moving, right? It gets boring if you sit on this slide and talk for 10 minutes. People tune out. They can't see your face, so you've got to rely on the slides. Once that's done, stop record, and it brings it up as a file. And so for me, I'm just going to take off the stuff before it. Hold on. Just now, do my presentation, say, hi. So around there. Hi. Cut that. Hi guys, Grace here. I'm so excited to share this training with you. Cool. I'm also going to crop that little, I should have hidden that. See that hide button? I should have hit hide on that because I can actually see that in my recording. I could just crop it off, but I'm going to crop off. Oops. Oh, hush. Crop the bottom. Why? That's weird. Cannot be greater than the vertical dimension. Never, oh, we're pressing both, sorry. Thought that was weird, not top, bottom. I could cut that off, that's still okay. And center it a bit, whatever. And then I go along to the end. Did I make any errors at the end? It's done, rely on the slides. They can't see a thing, right? It gets wrong. That's kind of, maybe that's where I stopped. You're good to go. So now I save it, I export it, that video's done. It's literally how easy it can be. And once you get used to that, once you practice it a few times, you'll just be able to create content so quickly. So that's if it's recorded. If it's live, I still prepare my slide pack in the same way, as many slides as I can, try and keep it limited with the amount of time I'll spend on each slide, package it up with 3 talking points, intro and exit, and then I'm done. And I'll just get ready. I'll hit record on my live presentation. I'll use either, Zoom or Webinar Jam or GoToWebinar, whatever it is I'm using, and I'll share it in a similar way. Hope that helps, guys. So this is kind of the way that I do it for my webinar. I did one live at the beginning, and then I used the recorded version of that, and that goes into the webinar. And so then people can comment on it. And so I just started off at the beginning, there were only like maybe 100 comments because I didn't have many people in my first webinar when I first ran it. So maybe there were 100 comments, and now there's like 2,000 comments because every time someone watches it, they comment on it. And so, but anyway, that's how I do it. Did that help? I hope that helped. Can you see how? So yeah, it doesn't have to be that difficult. Just slide pack, write out your dot points, and that slide pack probably took me. If I was doing it for the first time, I'd done a similar training before to that one, not similar, but I knew that topic so well. So it would probably, first time out of the bat, take me an hour. But that one, oh gosh, I tried to curl my hair today. It didn't work at all, at all. Anyway, I pretend it worked and I look really great. That one there probably took me about half an hour because I'd already made a slide pack before. I just took the old one and used similar kind of, visuals, as in white background, black text, pink. The first time you set up your slide pack, what am I going to use when I've just got words on the slide? What am I going to use when I've got big statements? What am I going to use when I've got bullet points I want to walk through? And you kind of create that slide template that you use. Once you've used it once, the next time you go to build a slide pack, it's just so much quicker. You just literally, I just sit there and I'm just typing it out. And I type it as I'm speaking because that's how I use my slide packs, and that's how you should as well. I hope that helps, Sandy. Next question is from, back to my questions, Karen. She's asking a question about her landing page. Karen, where are you, Karen? Did you spell it wrong? No, let me hit refresh. People that have just joined me, questions in the right-hand chat box, pop them in. If you've submitted one, you can either ask me directly in the chat box, or if you've submitted one in advance, just jump into, just let me know your name in the chat box and I'll be able to grab it from the portal. Okay, you're welcome. Cool. Would you mind taking a look at my first try of my homepage? I want to make sure prospects do go to my website. It flows. Oh, when my prospects go to my website, it flows with the funnel. Cool. And I want to follow your best practices. Awesome. It'll save you a lot of time and money. Would you please also comment on whether I have it right? Sorry, I'm just reading the rest of her question. Cool, I'm having a look now. Opening in 3, 2, 1. Awesome, cool. So let me have a look at this. Cool, so she's got a click option up the top, which is awesome. Wonderful. Looking good. I can't see what that white text is in the middle. Is that white text on a white background? I might not be supposed to be there. I don't think it's supposed to be there, so that's fine. I'm sure that's coming off. The image, yeah, I like that. The image doesn't quite work for me because I lose a lot of it in this particular version and the screenshot. I lose a lot of the image. I think it could look really impressive. If it's a long banner like that, it could look really impressive if you make the image like 4 pieces of artwork or something like that, or a house scene with a beautiful piece of artwork in the middle, or the artwork to the left if you've got the testimonial on the right. I would have a look at doing it in that way. Now, keep in mind too, the testimonial's good. Is that a scroller as in the text changes, or is it just the image that changes? The testimonial is really good, but the button below it is Get the Simple Secrets Free. And Get the Simple Secrets Free, I don't know what the simple secrets are or what that relates to. So if I had the button saying Get the Simple Secrets Free, I could do it if that was just one of the slides, but the main slide would want to talk about what the simple secrets help them do. right? The problem that they solve or the benefits they can help them achieve. And so I would, in that text, I would say something like stuck on, stuck on finding incredible, tired of your empty walls, something like that. I know you've got that in the red section up the top, but you don't automatically connect those two in your head. So that sentence is actually awesome to have on the slider as well, that top red sentence. The footer's looking good. Well done. Good job. So above that banner there, I would, you know what I would do? I would go into Canva and I would get a square icon and I would make 3 square icons, kind of like if you went to the modules page or the courses page of of my programs, how it has all the modules with like more icon-y, square buttony things with a little button on it. You know, the ones that I do where you click on that, it's like module 1 start here or module 2 start here, those kinds of buttons. I would have that. I just go into Canva and I design those up in there visually so they can click on it and go through. I would have 3 of those sitting in like a 3 column below what you've already got there. Instead of the grey, green, blue bit, I would have 3 separate icons. So I would have, get the simple secrets free, shop for art, ask a question or schedule a consult or something like that. I would do the 3 steps. And if they hit on the start now, they would go through to your lead page that has the lead magnet on it. If they hit on the red thing up the top, I don't know, would I want to capture? I probably want to capture these guys on the website rather than going through the landing page. Yeah, I would probably have that top banner and the start now, one of the 3 squares. I'll probably have those both bring a pop-up. So you can make it, it's called a click pop in ClickFunnels. In lead pages, it's called a lead box. So either a click pop or a lead box, you can click on those and it pulls it up and it pulls up a pop-up on this page. Like it grays out the back of this page a little bit and they can put the email in right there and then. Because if we're going from a website, imagine in your funnel, it goes from the website. We could send them directly to here and they could put their email in there, but it's an extra click. It's a new page that they have to digest and click on, and it's probably high converting, but it's another step. Whereas on your website, you can't obviously do this on your Facebook ad, but on your website, your banner up the top, click, and that one of 3, if they click on either of these, it can bring a pop-up up in the middle and they put their email into that pop-up box. And then where would you send them? Well, you don't need to go here. You've already got their email. You go straight through to there. So there are your 2 options. ClickFunnels, these are called click pops. Lead pages, they're called lead boxes. Or if your website builder might have a pop-up built into it potentially. And if they enter their email in there, go straight through to there. Otherwise, if you can't figure out that technology, it's not too hard. I've got a training on it, but if you can't figure out that technology, you can just send them straight through to the lead magnet for now. Because I know it's an extra click and a new page to digest, but it's still probably, hopefully, one of my pages or very similar, and it's high converting. So you still stand a good chance. Hope that helps. Well done, though. Off to a cracking start. And the rest of the stuff you're saying works really well. I hope that helps, Karen. Kate, I have a question in the portal. Got it, Kate. Saw yours here. I feel like you've got 2. Let me see if they're the same. Oh, yeah, I think it's... Oh, that's loud. I think it's a follow-on. So I'm using a live event template. Cool. In ClickFunnels. Question 1, see attached document. Is this how I link my ClickFunnels pages to MailChimp? Okay, so no, not that way. Good question though. So in your case, see your event squeeze page. Let me just show you. Yes, so your diagram is correct, just not the option that you use. So you'll see it in my training in ClickFunnels when I talk about MailChimp. I'll jump into my ClickFunnels account in 1 second and show you that. The other one, automation. Oh, those templates. I'll show you that as well. Let me just copy this link. Copy, paste. Nice page. I like it. Well done. Well done. And then the other one is this one. Cool. I'm going to just, I'm just going to quickly share this with the community because I want to show you my screen as well. Share screen. ClickFunnels. Okay, so just a couple of tips on these pages here. See this white space up the top here? Can we remove that? Can we just make that half? Like I would only want to see just this little bit here, basically the size of my cursor in there. But otherwise that's looking good. I would probably want my logo as well, just to be a little bit smaller. Click, email address. Awesome. And then if I were you, I'd make these bits italicized. Either those bits italicized or these bits bold. Just see which one you feel ends up looking best. I'm just going to think about mine because it just makes them look more like, slightly more like testimonials. Yeah, so that's right. This is what worked really well for me. I'll just log in. I bolded. I feel more relaxed and I feel stronger, right? So I would just bold that. Just bolding something out of your testimonial works really good. She empowered me to make time for myself. I loved the simple tips that made it realistic and achievable. Highly recommend this workshop, stuff like that. Cool, and then that's looking good. So, yeah, that's all good apart from just too much white space up here with nothing happening. And then over here, also looks good. Cool. So what I do, hold on 1 second. Now I've got to go into my ClickFunnels account. What about is it this one? Will this one work? I'll just quickly grab this one. Yeah, not that one. This one here. So have a look at the way that I do it. So this is a similar kind of version, right? Registration, order form, upsell. You would have upsell, and then thank you. Just ignore the pages below that. So when you hit on registration, to connect it to MailChimp, you click edit. Once you've hit edit, when you're inside, up the top here, it'll say settings, integrations. And under integration, I'm just going to hit remove. This is where you set it up. So you'll have MailChimp here. Once you click on MailChimp, it'll then ask you a couple of things. It'll say do you want people to do double opt-in? I normally say no. Check out your laws in your local area, but I normally say no. And then you'll be able to choose which one you want them to go into, right? That'll be all of your lists will be down in this drop down here. So you can choose the likable lady one and so on, whichever one this relates to. So for this first page, I put it into the likable lady. For the next page, you can do the same kind of thing. So the order form, next page, edit. So you jump in, you edit the page, and you hit on integrations. Now, the only thing, if they do, the way that I do it, I actually, for the payment pages, I actually get my payment system to talk to my automation tool, because sometimes they enter it in and it doesn't successfully, like it bounces. And sometimes they can drop into your sales list if you directly integrate it between ClickFunnels and MailChimp. So I just would always double check that and just make sure that the payments had gone through at the end of each day. I'd just be like, cool, I sold 10 tickets and yep, I've got 10 payments, cool, done, and you kind of, I'd go that way. But I believe Stripe does integrate with MailChimp if you're using Stripe in ClickFunnels. Any email capture pages, so this registration page, any email capture pages, I would definitely always integrate with MailChimp directly, but you can integrate these payment pages with MailChimp directly, so we move people on, but I would always just double check them at the end of every day or every second day and make sure that the payments did successfully go through in Stripe. And if they didn't, I just pick up the phone and say, hey, just want to process that payment, it just had a bounce, so have you got another card, or can I try again on a different day, blah, blah. There you go, Stripe integration. Zapier. Okay, cool. So remember that tool I talked about earlier, Zapier? So Zapier, there you go. It teaches you all the steps. Add Stripe customers to a MailChimp list. So that's an easy one there as well. Or you probably add charge Stripe customers, wouldn't you? Because you wanted people that are successfully paid. Yeah, a charge happens in Stripe. Zapier adds a subscriber to a MailChimp list. That's cool, hey? Yeah, so they're kind of your options with those pages there. But if it were me, I don't know, I'd probably just, because I just wanted it to happen, I would want it to happen quicker. So rather than using the Stripe Zapier connection, I'd probably just start off and get this baby launched by just doing the integrations option, edit page, hit integrations in the top left, and just add them into the right list. And I just check it, spend 3 minutes at the end of the day just checking the payments. Cool, did they all work? Oh, this one bounced. I'm just going to quickly call up Jane and try and confirm her. Yeah, that's the way I would go about it. And then in time to remove that little 3-minute task out of your day, I would set up the Zapier thing. But I'd want to test it and make sure the tickets were rolling in before I put heaps of time into stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's how we do it in that case. I hope that helps. Please turn on. Good. Now I'm always sitting a bit close when I turn it on. Oh, I haven't got a photo in there. I did. Had one of Adam and I. Who took that out? What a weird thing to do. Maybe I'll swap the frame over. Weird. Now, I hope that helps, Kate. Next question is from, if you've just joined me, make sure you pop your question into the right-hand chat box, or if you've already submitted it in the portal, tell me that in the right-hand chat box in this chat, please. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Awesome. So this is great, Angelina. Angelina says, oh no, I'm drawing all over myself. I'm an e-commerce store. Yeah. My core offer is $10 and it gets taken up straight away. What's my next step? I'm hoping the $10 is recurring. Is a repeat purchase that they can make again or they can buy more of. If that's the case, then you keep pushing them back into those nurtures. So once they buy in your funnel, you'd probably have email address to come in through the funnel and then go straight to the store. You don't even need a discount code, just go straight to the store, throw in a free something or a little mini course that goes with it or just some reason to go and buy now. They go over to the store, they buy now. It's just all, in your case, all about email marketing. Every time you have an opportunity to reach out to them again with a different email marketing angle, we use it. So I would work out, the first thing I would do is work out between 6 and 9 times on the calendar, on the annual calendar, where I could email them. Could it be Mother's Day or in a financial year or back to school or your company birthday that happens each year or Easter or Christmas, or what could it be on that calendar that you can make a story out of? Winter warmer campaigns, spring into spring, whatever. School holidays, blah, blah. Work out what could relate to your product and service and put those in there, in the calendar. Work out what the postal cutoff date would have to be for each of those. Okay, so Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday, so I need to have the order in by the Tuesday before to get it there in time, or whatever it looks like. So it's going to stop on Tuesday the 7th of February. From Tuesday the 7th of February, work 2 weeks back from that. And I want you to have probably 7 emails-ish, a minimum, over those 2 weeks, right? 10 days to 2 weeks, 7 emails. So you're kind of emailing every second day. I'd email on the first day, then maybe 3 days in after that. And then I'd go 2 days, 1 day, and I'd have a few on the last day, right? I'd try and keep it quite tight. I'd have probably 2 on the last day, 1 at the beginning of the morning and 1 at like 2 o'clock. Hey, orders are closing at 5 o'clock today, or it might be a 5 o'clock email because orders are closing at midnight tonight, or whatever it looks like. So I'd focus on the last 3 days in particular, but I'd start at 2 weeks out and expect it to like ramp up. Those last couple of days go crazy. And I would put in there countdown timers. So I like motion mail. It's like free countdown you can insert in one of your emails. And it just counts down based on the postal cutoff date. So that I'm thinking of who have done that in advance at the beginning of the year, they look at the year ahead and they go and schedule all of those promotions in for the year. And so then 2 weeks before their postal cutoff date, they just pull their current list into that nurture and off it goes. And they've done all the work, they've sat down, they've thought about the email copy, because the vibe of the emails is very similar. You'll come at it with a different angle because it's a different time of year, a different focus for the promotion, and it might be a different product you're spotlighting, but it's the same kind of process. It's like tell them all about the deal in the first email. In the second email, share some benefits with them. In the third email, give them some testimonials. In the fourth email, add some more urgency and benefits. In the fifth email, it's all about the countdown. Sixth email, urgency. Seventh email, about to close, or something like that. So you kind of walk through them in a similar flow. You'll just use the last promotion you did, copy that, and then just tweak it, different testimonial, different angle, that kind of thing. And off we go with those campaigns. So regular promotional emails will work incredibly well, and you'll find it's about 1/10 of the cost for you to get a person that's already bought from you to buy again compared to getting a person to buy for the first time. Because to buy for the first time, you have to pay for the Facebook ad, you have to nurture them and love them up, you have to, to buy the second time, you just have to send an email. So I was talking to some guys in the States recently and looking at their comparisons who are doing like $10 to $20 million on online stores, looking at their comparisons on cold traffic. You have to start with cold traffic. Everyone has to buy from you for the first time. But then the second time, they just work on the database, because a lot of companies just focus on the first purchase. And once they've bought once, they're like, well, that one's dead to me. And maybe if it's like, I don't know, a fridge, people don't need 2 fridges in close succession. But most products, even one of the companies that I was consulting to in the agency, their product was 15 grand. And they were just thinking that once one person bought one, it was like a going out to corporate physical product. They thought once they bought one product, no, not corporate, B2B. Once they bought one product, they wouldn't want to buy another. And then I said, there's a very high chance they do. Like, can we please offer them a second and a third and a fourth? And then they're like, wow, the average sale for us is now getting closer to 60,000. Like the average lifetime customer value is 60,000. I'm like, yes, that's exactly right. Because some people want to buy 8, some people want to buy 2. Like, you just think because your product's so expensive that people only want to buy it once. So in your case, when your product's $10, the amount of repeat business, like it's just free money. It's literally free money. So it's all about the email list after that. At the beginning, it's all about generating the email list. And then once you've got the email list, or the email list is growing really affordably, then it's all about emailing. You're welcome. Maria, I was just looking at your other angle. You could potentially get away with that. Yeah. Potentially. Next question is from Jane. Jane's question, I'll just close that. Jane, there you are. Okay, my ad is converting at 83 cents. To an email, are we talking? Are you getting 83-cent emails? That's flipping awesome. That's brilliant. So I've gained 45 emails. See, that's what I don't get. The tracking must be off because you've gone for 5 days. Oh, maybe you've gone for a week at 5 days at $5 a day. So you've spent $35 and you've only got, hold on, I just need to do my maths. You've run it, and you might have been, you've been testing other ad sets, right? But you've got a cheap ad set there. From memory, Babyology is quite a small ad set, so that will be your top performer, but it will burn out quicker than others will. So you'll need to replace the copy more frequently. Or just a lot of the time you just have to put a new image in and it jumps back up again. If you start to see it wane and start to climb in terms of getting a little bit more expensive, you know it's probably time for a fresh image because that audience from memory is quite small. $5 times by 7 days is $35 divided by 45 emails. Oh, it would help if I knew how to use a calculator. 77 cents an email. Scheisenhausen. Oh, sorry, I think is that a swear word in German? My dad sometimes said it when I was a kid. It probably is. I think I know what that means actually. Sorry, that's not very nice. Sorry if there's anyone here from Germany. Yes, so cool. So this is the biggest thing when it comes to, I'm really excited that you're building a cheap email list. This is awesome. This is yours. Well done. Well done. Looking good. I'm very proud of you, Jane. Is this Jane's? Yeah. Very proud of you. Well done. You've been working on it for a while, right? Oh, I love that. Cool. So, I would put somewhere bigger on the thank you page. Can I just have a quick look at the video? I will put somewhere bigger about how it's for 7 days only. Then.
Hi, Jane here. Congratulations.
Cool. So with the video, sounding, it's good in terms of length, sounding a little bit scripted. So you know what would almost be worth it? Go onto Fiverr, give someone this script to do a voiceover. It's just sounding a little bit scripted. And if you don't want to like do the whole, hey, because you just need a little bit more excitement to your voice when they can't see your face, you've got to do so much work with your voice. So voiceover artist, you go to fiverr.com. I just think this will increase. Now you want an Australian, so you're able to select here English. I want an Australian accent there. If you want to sell it in Australia. Cool. There's some great ones, male and female. I would get a female. I would get a mum looking person rather than someone looking too teenage-ish. There's someone who does an Australian mum and daughter voiceover. See, there's so many options. I've found one here that's got 33 reviews and 99% of people gave them 5 stars. So that's pretty good. And she's worked with some really big people like Target and BMW and Warner Brothers and Rexona and stuff like that. And it's $26 for, how can you get more words? She's actually quite expensive. We'll get someone else who's a bit cheaper. So I would just be looking at these, right, and getting someone a little bit cheaper. Female, how can I get female? Female, 47. Cool. So we've got heaps of options. Is she cheaper? She's got 7 reviews, probably not used enough. There you go. She's got 1,000+ reviews. She's got 128 reviews. She's $6. Like, I'm talking cheap. So I'm just looking through Fiverr. Wowzers. She's got a lot of reviews. Cool. So there's plenty of people. Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. So how many words does she do for that amount? Cool. So she does 30 words for $6. And then you can just add an extra 30 words for another $5. So, you know, it's not going to be expensive. You can spend like under $50 to get the script read out loud and then put that on top of your video. So that's one hot tip there. And then the last one would be the urgency. This is all about, PS, the logo there. Can we just take that logo out? It's pushing the video down too low. So take the logo out. You can put it below if you want. It is already below, but take it out at the top. Can we put the 7 days element somewhere? Because I don't feel like there's enough urgency here to go and take advantage of this opportunity now. So let's make sure that we've got the 7 days thing happening. And then finally, I would want to make sure that my emails, because it's only a 7-day emailing period, I would want to be emailing day 1, day 3, and then day 4, 5, 6, 7. So like I would want 5 to 6 emails, those likable ladies, to go out really quickly and just all pushing towards a discount code going back to the store. So yours can't go over 2 weeks because the time frame's gone. They've got to go out over those first 7 days with all of your emails. And there's one more thing I was going to say about this, that just to try and improve this thank you page, because now they've got cheap emails. It's like, sweet, we just need to figure out how to get them to take that next step. That's right. The other thing I was going to say was I would be checking how many people click. So I would go to lead pages and you can check how many people click on this page and go through to the store, because it could be that everyone loves this page and then they go through to the store and the experience is like a really tough experience. Sometimes it's really slow loading. Other times the whole checkout experience just causes massive cart abandonment. If I were you, I would be sending them straight through to the shop. Definitely through to the shop. Yeah, so at the moment they're going to the homepage, send them straight through to the shop so that we can go closer to the product. Add to cart, view cart, checkout. Yeah, it's like a pretty straightforward process, right? I don't think the cart's the massive issue, but I'll be checking if I had so they come through to this page and get the next step to go and use a discount code over in the store. If 50% of people were clicking through and going through to the store, that's the best I could expect here, 50% of people. So I would then need to work on making the store a better experience, so a really good cart abandonment nurture, and working on my emails a little bit more. But if this page, if less than half of the people are clicking on here, if it's like 10%, if it was 30 to 50% clicking through, I'd leave this landing page as it is. If it's under 30% clicking through, I could probably give this landing page a little bit more love with the tips I just talked about to get more people to click to visit the store. If they are clicking and we've got 30 to 50% of people clicking through, then great, let's just make the store a lower dropout rate in the store, which is all about cart abandonment nurtures. And let's make sure that these emails keep pushing them back to the store. And then I want you to also remember that your email list isn't dead after 7 days. People are buying these kinds of things for presents and baby showers and birthdays, all that kind of stuff, Christmas. And it just might not be that now is not the best time. Because I want you to remember in your email database, 3% of people are ready to buy from you right now and will buy from you right now in your funnel. 6 to 7% of people that come through your funnel are open to it. So 3% are open to it to go and buy right now. 6 to 7% are open to it. And if you nurture them well enough with a really good likable lady email, they're open to going and taking advantage of that. 60% of them, that says 6 to 7, by the way, 60% of them will never buy from you. They just don't want your product and service, or they don't have the budget for it, all sorts of reasons why not. Not necessarily your fault. They just would never buy from you. So 10% roughly are ready now if you've got a really good funnel. 30%, because there's still 30% left there, right? 60 plus 10 is 70. So 30% of people just won't buy from you right now. They're not open to it or ready for it right now, but they will be in the future. You just got to be the first front of mind person sitting there when that baby shower comes up and everyone else has got really cool gifts and they've got nothing, or when Christmas comes up and they're trying to find an idea for the 3-year-old they're looking to buy for, or whatever it is. That's when you hit that extra 30%, because everyone seems to focus on this 3%, and then some of them go enough and actually nurture people in emails and really love people up and will go as far as that first 10% and then never email again. And who cares about the 30%? You and I care about the 30%. We do, right? So you've got to stop thinking that just because they haven't said yes in the first 7 days, they're dead to you, because they're not. You'll times your business by 4 if you just start looking after those people, right? Because instead of dealing with just the possible first 10%, you're dealing with the first 40%. And you have to be okay in emailing people that the 60%, they're going to be the people that will be hitting your unsubscribe buttons in your emails. That's okay. They were never going to buy from you anyway. That's okay. And unsubscribe is a good thing. Okay? That's how I want you to approach it. These, you've got 50 people in your database. They are not dead to you. 50 people in your database are 50 people or 45 people who at some point, what are we looking at? 40%-ish. Like I'd like to get 4 or 5 to buy from you in the first couple of weeks. I'd like to get it up to that point where 4 or 5 are buying from you the first couple of weeks. But then of those 45, you should have a total of at least 18 sales coming in from that over the next few months. If you just keep on nurturing them, keep on being front of mind so that when the point does come, you're the first choice. Sandy, yes, that training, I just go straight on to creating the slides. Correct. Thanks, Anne. Kimberly. So Kimberly's working on her membership platform. Now, I just want to make sure to, you're welcome, guys, you're welcome. I just want to make sure to, Kimberly, remember the whole process of a successful, if you're doing a membership program, you're a coach or a consultant or something along those lines, a mentor, right, a thought leader. And remember, you have to go through the process of doing one-on-one, face-to-face, then online one-on-one, and then online one-to-many. We don't go straight from hobby to thought leader, right? We have to take the steps and do done for you, sort of more of that one-on-one face-to-face environment. This is what we actually sell. The offer itself should be a face-to-face one-on-one. You still sell it with a funnel. It's still an online funnel, but what you're selling, you can't go straight to a membership site unless you've successfully in the past done a face-to-face program, like a consulting or a coaching program face-to-face, and then being able to transition that and do an online coaching and consulting program online, one-on-one. Then we can go one-to-many in a membership program. So for me, the progression was my digital marketing agency was where I started, and that was a done for you service. That was like a one-on-one face-to-face, go out to their offices, get work done, make premium money by only so many people you can work with. So I filled up that funnel with done for you, like face-to-face one-on-one clients. Then in my other agency, my other like coaching business, I was teaching people automation one-on-one. So that was more of a hello?
I just quick.
That was more of a one-on-one done with you service. So it's like 6 weeks, an hour coaching each week, that kind of a program and platform. And then the next option was, that was what I call online one-to-one. So I'm online, I'm not getting out face-to-face, I'm not sitting in the car, I'm not like, I haven't got the same, I'm normally not doing the done for you elements. I'm usually done in more of that online one-to-one. I'm doing more of done with you. So it's like, hey, I'll teach you the stuff, you have to go do it now, compared to the agency where I was doing it all for them. So I freed up my time a little bit more, but I was still going one-on-one. There was still a cap, but because it was one-on-one, you can charge more, right? And you learn a lot more. There's all sorts of things you discover in those 2 stages that are really, really critical. Once you've done the online one-to-one, then you go online one-to-many. So after I had my automation agency, I was then like, you know what? I can teach this en masse now. I've honed this in. I know what people need. I know the best way for them to get results. I've done it with people myself in the agency, and I've coached and mentored people through this in the coaching business. Now I'm ready to move on to one-to-many. So just make sure you've ticked off those steps first. Once you get there, I mean, you could spend time building a website. If you're saying either or, what's my first priority? What's my first bridge? Website or ClickFunnels campaign? I'd just say do your ClickFunnels funnel, because you can just grab one of those landing pages and make it your homepage of your website for now. Like, it doesn't matter enough We just need to get a program. We need to actually start selling as quickly as possible. And the websites, I don't know, they tend to hold people back, and people take 2-3 months, sometimes more, and a lot of money on building their website. Or if they try and do it on the super cheap, it often looks not so great. So I'm like, let's just build a funnel. Let's just use a really good looking ClickFunnels page and make that your homepage for now. And once you've proven it and you've got your first people in your business, you made some money from that, once you hit that first, once you hit the first 10 grand, once that's launched, then jump over and spend a bit of time on doing a website. But me personally, not up front. That's my priorities anyway. That's worked really well for me to actually get cash in the bank. Amy's question. I'm doing my first video session using a real background. How do I make the background blurred like in your videos? Totally. So, Amy, PS, with ScreenFlow, you just get quicker and quicker and quicker with the editing. But with the blur, that's all about the camera and the depth of field. Did you see that technological, just video techie word I just used? Depth of field. See, my voice is already going. Who was I talking about that with? Grace. Was it Grace? I think it was Grace. My voice is already going. I've got a really sore voice today. What was I going to say? Depth of field. So I thought that I had to stand close to get blurry. You actually have to stand a fair way in front to get blurry. Yeah, that's one part of it. The second part is how good your camera is. So I've got both of my cameras. I've got 3 cameras at the moment. One's like a ridiculously awesome one that I barely know how to use, but the person who sold it to me just came and set it up and said, don't touch it, just use it like that. The other camera was a cheaper one. I think it cost me a few $100s, and it's a digital camera, but I flipping touched the settings when I bought it, and I don't know how to change it back. It looks really white. Everything's white. It's really annoying. I should get someone to, I don't know, I should Google and watch some YouTube videos or something on that. But that one, I can use both of those cameras and the third camera actually, which is more of a walk around camera. It like works on, it's really small and it works on a stick really well. All 3 of those, I can set it up so that when I focus, I do it so I manually focus, not automatically focus. So when I focus, I make sure that the focus part is focusing on my eye. And sometimes I'll hold up a ring like at the same level, same depth as my eye, and I'll just, because sometimes the ring's easier to see than my eye because I have to keep it open. But basically, I want my eyes to be really in focus. And if you get your eyes really in focus and you're standing away from what's behind you, that should be blurred. But it depends a little bit on the camera. But that's basically your rule of thumb. If you're a good few meters in front of what the background is, and you're blurring your eyes, and you've focused your eyes, then the rest should be blurred. And if you see anyone in these kinds of spaces, like I need to be sitting when I'm doing this scene properly, I'm at least 3 meters in front of the background scene. So it's depth of field and then focusing in on your body part rather than letting it autofocus. Okay. Now, next question is, you're welcome, from Emma, I believe, is next. No, hold on, let me go through them in order. So, Angela, trying to figure out how to use the system for network marketing. Cool. So, in your case, I want you to have a look at, I want you to go to answers.thedoingacademy.com. Answers.thedoingacademy.com, because I've been asked this question quite a bit. So you can just get it straight from here. So I would personally, so answers.thedoingacademy.com. I would go to that place and I would search for network marketing. And when you search for that, you will see I've been asked 79 questions around network marketing before. And I would just check out some of the answers that I've given on this one, because I've given some really long, detailed answers on that one in the past, which will really help you. Hope that helps. Wait, have I been frozen for a while? Is that just you, Jane, or Janine rather? Or is it everyone? Can everyone see and hear me okay? I'm moving my hands. It might just be the internet. It's not my internet because I've just paid a flippin' fortune for this rural internet because I'm 20 minutes from the city. 20 minutes and I'm in rural Australia. I'm frozen. Dang it. But you can still hear me, right? My screen's frozen. I'm not supposed to be sharing my screen anymore. I finished that ages ago. That's why I love this silly thing. You're back. Yay. Cool. Awesome, guys. I'm back. Can you see me? Yay. Sorry. Thanks for telling me, Janine. Appreciate that. Belinda, when's a good time? Wait, what did I answer? That one. Hold on, I just got to do these ones in order because otherwise I'm going to get myself in a pickle. So Belinda's question, when you're publishing a Facebook ad, what's the best time to do it? Do it in the time zone. So I always do it between 8 and 10-ish in the morning. You want to do it in the AM. You want to do it earlier in the day, and you want to do it based on the time zone that you're advertising in. So if you've got an Australian account and you're advertising in Australia, it should be based on Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you're in New York and you're advertising in America or anywhere really in America, I just do Eastern Standard Time. So I've got an account set up because I go globally, but the majority of my advertising is in America because you guys have an insane amount of people in your country. Then in that account, I'm set up in US dollar and US time zone in my account settings. And so I always turn on my ads in the morning, US time. You're more likely to get a human in those times because they're all working more at the beginning of the day. You're more likely to get a human to review your ad, which usually means they have a brain and can take things in context a little bit better, and they're often not as strict compared to when you get a robot who's like banned and they just haven't been able to read the word in context and it makes complete sense and is totally fine in context. So that's the only thing with those ones there. And the other reason why I do it in the morning is because the reporting, Facebook gets a better view of your ad over the full day and it gets a fairer kind of result after that first day, so it optimizes itself better rather than you starting at late in the day and it says, oh, on their first day they only got 2 conversions, so that's not really a very good ad. I'm going to work on someone else's who's another business is getting much better results. It's like, no, don't base it on that. I've only been going. If I started at 10 o'clock at night, I was only going for 2 hours. I haven't had enough time to prove that this ad's a really good ad. So if you start in the morning, you get a full day of reporting, which makes your reporting more accurate. Is it advisable to direct friends referrals to the lead magnet? So if someone tells you, like if someone's referring, should you direct them to the lead magnet or do I deal with them differently because they were already recommended to me? Or am I being too presumptuous saying that just because you're recommended, you're hotter? Just because you're recommended, you definitely are hotter, but you still, in my opinion, see, I have different scenarios. I have both options, to be honest. My people in my community can either refer them to my webinars, or if they talk to a really close friend and they're like, oh, the identity project they're doing academy is flipping awesome, you need to get in it, we can do it together, and they want to get a commission for referring their friend, then they can send their friend directly to me. So I do it on a case-by-case basis. So sometimes they'll have an email of someone saying, hey, can you please talk to my friend Jane? I've told her about the Doing Academy, she wants to get in. I'll go straight to product. If, however, I'm putting out a campaign saying, hey, you should invite your friends to join me inside our community, I usually will send them through the webinar first and let the webinar do its job, or the lead magnet in your case. Like I've got other lead magnets that I'll send them through first. For the inner circle, I've got a different lead magnet. So I'll send them through that first, and then they can take the process. They'll often act a lot quicker and have a much higher chance of converting than cold people, but it depends on the process. Only if they're at the point where they've explicitly said they want your product or service will I put them through the lead magnet. Will I not put them through the lead magnet? Otherwise, they go through the lead magnet. Cool. I would like to target a Facebook audience 6 months to a year after they showed interest connected with them losing a loved one. I've had someone ask this question before. I think it was actually you, Emma. I definitely replied to this one before because, yeah, this is weird that it's here because I've definitely replied to this. Maybe you didn't get the answer. But yeah, the long story short, so she wants to target people not directly after they've lost a loved one, but she does stained glass windows. She wants to target them a few months in when they want to, commission a window in memory of their loved one. Facebook won't let you target anyone based on death, which I think is fair enough. So Facebook isn't a platform for that. And you can't set it up based on interests within a certain window. It just doesn't work like that. You will probably get, the only windows you could do is if like someone liked a funeral parlor or someone liked, I don't know, that's horrible. I don't think there would be things that people would be liking on Facebook that would show you that they've had a death of a loved one. I'm just going to Google Facebook audience death. Nah. So yeah, there's no way they would let you target people based on someone having died in their life, which I think is a good thing. You definitely don't want that on Facebook or on any of your social platforms. So the best thing for you is all on Google, traffic, and YouTube. So YouTube's good because you can target people based on what they're searching for. So again, sensitive topic, tough one, very tough one. But yeah, you can absolutely target people on Google and YouTube who are actively searching already, and you pop up. So I'll be doing SEO, AdWords, and YouTube for these kinds of things instead. Yeah, hope that helps. And I would be doing probably Google Maps as well. You'll see all of that in the both free and paid traffic sections. Cool. I've been testing out my Facebook audiences. This is Laura's question. 1 interest per ad set as per your training. Once this is complete and I know which audiences work for me, should I then combine the interests into one ad set or always keep them separate? Always keep them separate because the ad sets are different sizes, one will die out before others. Trying to think of if I ever combine them. To be honest, once I've got enough, I will build. No, I don't ever combine them because once I've got enough, my lookalikes usually perform better. So I'll do my initial ad set interests to find the right kind of people that should be clicking and converting on my ads. And I'll run those until I've got enough traffic to that landing page so that I can build a lookalike audience on that landing page. So yeah, I never combine them. I'll just turn off the ad sets interests and go turn off the campaign that's for interests and has all the ad set interests in them. Has all the interests in the different ad sets. I'll turn that off and I'll turn on my lookalike campaign. And I'll build a lookalike campaign based on all of the traffic, the website traffic that went to the first landing page. And I'll say, Facebook, can you give me another 100,000 people that look just like them? I'm not going to guess anymore. I'm going to let you just find more people like these guys because they're the ones that came over to my page. Does a weekend versus weekday usually affect the performance of an ad? Yeah, good point. Like if one's being tested over 48 hours on a Saturday or Sunday versus a Tuesday or Wednesday. No, not necessarily, in the sense that you still be able to, you might not get as many conversions, but you'll still know the cost per conversion. So the traffic might not be as high, but the conversion rates will still stay the same. It's just that, when you then start scaling and selling, I know that Saturdays and Sundays aren't normally a big day for me. It's normally Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But I will still know on a Saturday and Sunday, I'll still have, $4 emails, and I will on a Tuesday and Wednesday still have $4 emails. It's just that I'll be able to generate double the amount of emails on a Tuesday, Wednesday compared to a Saturday, Sunday. So the conversions will stay the same, which is the main thing you're tracking on the ads is the cost per conversion. It's just the volume will vary day to day. And your other question, Laura, around workout wear. Cool. So in your case, I would do a competition. Definitely do a competition. And then the next offer would be to the sweatshirt on the thank you page. It's too much of a jump to go from the recipe to the clothing, definitely. Yeah, I just think that I think you've got to be interested in people that want to buy product online. I think the people that you'd be attracting through the other stuff you're doing. I mean, you can always try it. There's no reason why you can't try doing a meditation or a recipe or a guide, because people that typically get that are interested in your clothing. But people buying online is its own unique category. And you'll be surprised at how different the people are that download the other things you're referring to compared to the people that buy online. They're two quite different groups. There's a lot of differences in those groups as well. Hope that helps, Laura. Nicole's question. I'm using a MailChimp sign-up form to sign people up, just for people to sign up and receive a lead magnet, a free ebook. MailChimp, though, asks for the double opt-in, where they have to send an email out to confirm the subscription before they send the downloadable. And MailChimp say you can't change this. Is there a workaround? I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. But yes, I've been able to break that for other clients. You have to get a coder to do it. So I got a coder. I got my team with Anna. So Anna is in Doers Book. So doersbook.thedoingacademy.com. doersbook.thedoingacademy.com. They've broken it before on a website, on a contact form when I had a MailChimp form, and they broke that so that they could go through without doing the double opt-in. If you're using a sign-up form in that way, then yes, it's part of the way that it's built. If you're using it, that's why I use ClickFunnels and lead pages and things like that, because that allows you to choose whether you want the double opt-in process or not. So when you're going through ClickFunnels, if you've got a landing page in ClickFunnels that's hooking into MailChimp, you're all good. You can say, don't send them the email. Don't send them that welcome email. If you're doing one in lead pages, again, you can disable that. So it's not normally an issue for my girls because they're all using landing pages to capture their email database. And so they can skip that process. If it's on a website, I have in the past been able to break it. Next question. Cool. In your case, Amy, yes, I would definitely be piloting some done for you. She's just asking, she said, I haven't done a private business face-to-face, but I've been working for someone else face-to-face for the last 5 years. You got to do it yourself. So the main benefits of doing face-to-face done for you learn way more than you think you already know when it's your own business. You do learn way more, I promise you of that. Secondly, you get cash flow in because you get to charge that more premium price. It's a more attractive offer for a more premium price. And so you get to build up some cash flow to be able to afford to go online. You get testimonials and case studies and a following already, an email list, testimonials, case studies that are yours, not your previous companies, that are yours personally. And so it just makes and you start getting some word of mouth building up. It just gets you all those initial steps on the board, particularly with a budget, to allow you to then go and take the next step. Because otherwise I tend to find people run out of time and money if they go directly online, from hobby to online, one to many. And they're just like, I don't have enough money to build this. I know that's because you want people to trust you for being an expert and a kind of a leader in this space, but you haven't been leading anyone in the past and you haven't got any proof of that to show them. Hopefully you've got a qualification and some experience in that, but you also need even more than that. You need testimonials, case studies, and you need that budget to be able to afford the next step. And you'll really enjoy it. It's working in your genius zone. I loved the done for you part. I got some incredible testimonials and case studies. It was just such a good way to start the business. I had such good cash flow. You can still get those businesses up. I was still doing like $600,000 a year. You can still get pretty good money from that. I had to do work for that. I had to work for it in terms of the fulfillment side because it had that one-on-one element. But I was still able to take holidays. I was still able to get really smart about the way that I automated as many parts as possible of that business. I still had a funnel to fill up that business. Yeah. So I would go back. I don't like, so you can skip a step, but you got the odds against you if you skip a step. I hope that makes sense. Next question. Oops. Is from, I think this is my last question. Second last question. I'm wanting to start an online directory for boutique and small business homeware stores. An online directory. What are you offering them? Is this physical, like premises, or is it an online directory of online stores? I don't see these working. I mean, run a validation document on it. It's just, she says here, I know that you've said in the past it's a very long and expensive process. I want to get the retailers to subscribe monthly. That's how most directories work. And the website is free for customers, which is the basic principle of a directory. Do you think a directory works before I start asking retailers to invest in the site to bring them leads? No. Not in that market. I've never seen proof in that market of that working well. So go and do a validation document. Probably call it a service-based business, and then get out there, do the validation document in module 2 of the Doing Academy. Go through it all, look at price points, look at validation, look at other people that have successfully proven that there is an actual market for this. And then go and do your budget and look at how much it's going to cost you. Like, before you take another step, go and look at the budget for setting up a directory like this. Get an accurate quote on that. And someone who's done this before and asked to see proof of another directory that they've created, and go and experience that directory. So I, for example, had one client in my agency, and they wanted to do a really advanced shopping cart process where people could like create their own, almost basically create their own product. And there was a recurring element of that product. So then the product had a consumable element to it. So that was recording purchases. Problem was, and so they wanted to do it. They saw one of their competitors doing it. So they proved that it was possible and there was a market for it because that competitor was doing really well. I said, can you go and quote that? And I said, sure. Best place to start is to go to the web designer that built their website and ask them how much it cost, because they will tell you. You can say you've got something in a similar niche, you really liked that one, what's the budget, what am I looking at? And it was $180,000, $180,000 to build that website. So I went back to the client and I said, even if we got a supplier that could do it at half the price, you're looking at $100,000. Are you willing to invest that? And they said, hell no. And so we took another approach, right? Because it just wasn't, the return just did not make sense. So I just need you to be really careful about the cost of that development and getting a quote on something that actually looks half decent, because someone offshore might tell you it's a $5,000 project, but find one that you actually like and talk to the web developers of the one you actually like. You can usually find it in the footer, or you can Google the brand and type in the word website or web design, and you'll find a case study or a portfolio from a web design company that's got that website in it. And sometimes it might be a template and might be really easy, but I've got experience in directories, and I know for a fact that templates are really bad and you need to do a lot of modifications, and I can't see it costing you less than $50,000 minimum to do something that looks half decent that people would actually want to pay for. So I don't mean to shoot it down, but I don't want you to invest in something that you're going to say, why didn't you tell me, right? I want you to have success, and I know from experience that a lot of people get burned in that business model. If someone wants to book a consult from Unlikable Lady emails, does it go directly to the schedule, or is there an intermediate page first? Couple of options. So you could go straight from email back to this page where you talk about what the consult is. And what do? I normally do that in my emails. I normally still do that. And when they click on that, they enter first name, last name, email, phone, and go through to the schedule after that. Yeah, for these 5 emails, I will usually go back to that page just to give them that last opportunity to sell a little bit more and encourage them to take that next step. Good question, Jess. Hiccups. Okay, and last question, Leela's wanting some feedback on her home video script. Jess is saying not the same video. I personally do. I know that this video here on the thank you page says, hey, thanks for downloading your lead magnet. Before you take the next step, I wanted to offer you the opportunity to blah, blah. Show me in a consult. Yes, I could take them to another page. I don't. Just massive imperfect action. I could make another video and put that on a separate page, but no, I just send them straight back to here. Someone asked me that like 6 months ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I probably could send them to a different page, but it's making money, so no. I mean, it's not like a weird thing to say, thanks for downloading the lead magnet, you're going to find it really helpful, because they have downloaded the lead magnet and they will find it really helpful. But yes, you could take that bit off if it was directing them back later on down the track. Now, and you'll find that they won't even really watch the video. They'll just click straight on the button and type in first name, last name, email, phone, and they go to the schedule. After those 5 Likeable Lady emails, you could try just sending them direct to the schedule, but not in those first 5. You've still got selling to do in those first 5. So, Leela, just a quick one on your homepage script. It's all about you. So, welcome to my gallery. See my exploration of art. I work, I love, I'm currently. So it's all about you. So homepage video script should be a brief introduction to who are you and welcome them in, and then we get straight on to the problem and what it is that you can help them do, the benefits, and then into the call to action. But too much you focused. But you can usually switch the me focused questions into them focused questions just by the way you say them. So I work from the heart with connection and aim to inspire and uplift through blah blah. You can say, are you like me and work from the heart and aim to want to be inspired and uplifted to blah, like just turn it into a question. The way what you're saying already, you can usually turn into a question. The end. Yeah, just switch that around. Cool. And in the introduction video of the Likeable Lady email 2, normally in that video, I've just got either a summary of what the actual email was about. So if I've got a video in here and that one, or in video in this one here, email 4, and it's all about benefits, I'll normally talk a little bit more about the benefits and what they're going to get. And I might put a testimonial at the end or something like that. So it's usually referring to whatever's in the video, whatever's in the email. The video will just be a visual way of saying that or expanding on that. Good. I have answered all of my questions. I will let you all go to your day. It's 1 minute past. We have rocked this. Thank you, Gracious. So appreciated. You're welcome, Jess. Have a dandy day and a prosperous week. Thanks, Kimberly. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks again. Great. Awesome. You're welcome. Head on off. Enjoy your week. Hope that's been helpful. And for those in the project, I'm in here again tomorrow if you've got another question. But, you do not need to spend time with me if you're ready to get building and you don't have any questions. You should be building your business. But if you do have a question, jump in and ask me if you're in the first 6 weeks of your identity project. Otherwise, I will catch you next week. Submit any questions during in the portal, and I'll catch you. We're doing 1 week online, 1 week offline with with an expert in the in the office. Can I start again? Doing academy office hours, because a lot of people are in the inner circle and the identity project or other things that are going on. There were too many live sessions for people each week. It was getting a bit. I don't want to distract you from your doing. This should just enhance it, not be another thing you have to attend. So and plus the girls wanted some more kind of current coaching stuff as well, not just Q&A, to get the most value out of it. So with office hours, I'm doing 1 week where I'm doing them live. The next week, you can still submit your questions in the portal. I'll still answer them, but I won't do a live session on it. I'll just answer them directly. And in the off week, when I'm not online live, I've got a training that I've done with one of my experts to empower you. So the one next week is all about automation. And then I've just been doing one recently for the fortnight after that with my video expert. Really good tips, amazing people that I'm interviewing. You're going to love them. So keep an eye out for that as well. You'll get that one next week. You are welcome, guys. I will talk to you soon. I'll let you go.